Hello, friends, and welcome to part 4 of Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty with a therapist. I appreciate so much your patronage. Thanks for being here. Thanks for making it to part 4. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. We got some cool stuff coming at me today, so leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, follow the links down in the description. You know the drill. To those of you that financially support the stream in any kind of way, thank you for doing that. I'm very grateful. If you haven't checked out the merch store, you should do that. But thank you for all of your support. More than anything, thanks for being here. Let's go find our boy in Captain Caliente.
Check out Ronald's cream stems.
I wonder if this is him. Now, because it has been a couple days since we played this last, I don't remember the code. So, I think I kind of remember it. We'll see what happens.
Best prices in Dogtown. Certified resale.
Ronald P.T. Malone.
I'll be damned. A real live customer. What can I get you?
September 31st. Yep, that's it. 0931. Shit. Hold on. Why did this turn off? That was my Discord.
How's biz? Eddie's flowing.
Nah, Chum. Delta Crash got everyone skissing. Half of Dogtown's chasing Rosalind Myers like bitches in heat. Shit's fake news. But tomorrow's another day. Peeps know Ronald's shop always got what they need.
Look like a chum who's been around D-Town.
Around? Shit, player. This is my home turf. Who'd you think I am?
Solomon Reed.
You talking to the Pacifica Typhoon, Chum. AKA the DT Prodigy. Yeah, okay, that one ain't my favorite. When they was pumping me with boosters, could blast 100 meters in 6.0. Yeah, you heard right. Now I ain't do hardly 100 a day. No more. But what I'm saying is, hell yeah, I've been around.
D-Town's districts. What do you know?
Huh, which ones, my man? Golden Pacific being the north of D-Town. I got this hill there, Luxor Heights. Name makes a promise and delivers. Preem views, 10 out of 10. Longshore Stacks is the west side. Place got history, feel me? South is Terra Cognita. You best stay the fuck clear of there.
Gotta say, first time in the hood. So, Terra, got any travel tips?
As I say, steer the fuck clear of Terra Cognita. The place was a fucking Quan's paradise years back. Talking space flight, chrome of the future, all sorts of tech. Shit'll fry your skull sponge. Now, nothing but dirt and dust and scabs. Rat-ass motherfuckers running the place. You go to Terra Cognita, you a corpse incognita. You get it? Incognita.
Casa Bonita. I keep thinking Casa Bonita.
Golden Pacific. Grandiose name, am I right?
Shit, Chum. Suits promise Eddie's raining down from every window. Peeps shitting solid gold. Proved true enough for my man Hanson. He the only one making fat stacks in that place, huh? Golden Pacific's a bar gas breeding ground. Got their beers, logistics, fun times, all in one hell of a dangerous place if you was not one of them dogs.
Luxor Heights. Know anything about him?
Hey, best not snoop round there. Them voodoo boys been doing voodoo shit since they made it their crib. Now they hop between two beds, Scavs and Hansons. For your visit, it's good to know who they be fucking around with at the time. Asking for trouble otherwise.
Okay, Longshore Stacks. What do you know?
Everything there's pre-Unity War shit, get me? Start seeing containers means you found a place. Them containers? It used to hold bricks and beams for building the hood. Shit got clapped, Avi. But them big-ass boxes ain't going nowhere. Now, we D-towners, we resourceful. Some clever chooms grabbed them and behold, preem living space. In high rises, no less. Ain't no shit go to waste here, you know?
Let's have a seat here.
Since we're already talking,
Yeah. Well, what you think?
got some pretty unique places around here.
This hood just exuding clever now, ain't it?
I don't really care about all of this.
Since we're already talking,
Yeah. Well, what you think?
since I got you, I was gonna ask.
Hit me, Chew. Days slower than a molasses flood.
Man of biz you are, so let's cut a deal. I slip you a few heads, you tell me how to slip inside.
You paying for trouble. But okay. Don't ever bail on eddies, huh? The new owners are draining power from down the road. Check the cables on the wall. Sure to connect somewhere. Tinker around, reset the power. Bet your security trinkets just might go dark.
Sounds promising.
Okay. Nice guy, but I don't really care that much about the neighborhood. All right, so we got power lines that are being... Oh, look at that.
Attention all residents, this is Kurt Hansen. Enemy cyberware infiltrated Dogtown.
I gotta figure out how to get up there. Looks like we can do it from over there. The hell is that? Can I make that jump? Oh, holy shit. Had to go full Batman and jump without the rope there. Holy shit. Okay. Now we wait for security. Or that was enough to... Oh, I could have just gone this way. Still would have had to make that jump, though. Take part in a clash of musical universes, live on Earth. Only happens once every million years. Mr. Kipper in private press on set for 99.9 Impulse. Club Riot Night City by invitation only. Proudly sponsored by Orbital Air. Okay. Can't wait. This message is automatically generated. Please do not reply. Okay. There we go. Doors open.
Capitan Caliente. Guy clearly went down with this place. Stash house by the looks of it.
Right. Let's see what's here.
Truth hidden in plain sight. We're like animals that have enough self-awareness to realize they're living on a farm, their freedom limited, their death inevitable, yet believing they understand the inner machinations of their small, isolated world, imperfect but familiar. The truth as always eludes us. Those in control try desperately to hide the fact that the truth cannot be found within the confines of the farm, but beyond it, below it. This dangerous, grim truth. The ones who watch us, control us, rule over us, steer us into our pens so cunningly we are not even aware of it. They offer scandals and outrageous conspiracy theories to excite us, mislead us, and deceive us into believing that we're all capable of peeking behind the curtain. They do this to inflate our egos and make us feel smart. This is no better illusion than overconfidence. They've conditioned us to look only where and when they want us to. The true nightmares, these can only be found on the periphery of our perception. Whole universes are being created in cyberspace, designed by powerful AIs at the behest of their corporate overlords. But what is their goal? Who or what is their target? What role does the Black Wall play in all this? This digital, metaphorical wall of legend erected to shield us Homo sapiens from the threat of wild AIs. How do we know it even still exists? How do we know if Militech, Arasaka, or Night Corp haven't breached it to contact the other side? What if these mysterious beings, born in the net, have begun to make their way into our world? What if they're here already? Some might argue that a farm animal shouldn't care who their master is, so long as they're provided for with water, food. To those, I offer a warning worthy of the times we live in. Maybe the time has come to bite the hand that feeds. I mean, certainly having the existence of a super advanced cybernet like what we have would prompt those types of philosophical questions and could lead to a level of paranoia that I don't think any of us would envy. Roach Race, a quick review. I consider myself a real gamer, and I gotta admit, Roach Race was one of the titles I've been looking forward to all year. Nostalgia can be a bitch sometimes, but the devs really delivered on this one. It's an arcade game comparable to the great classics. Gameplay is fairly balanced, and I've sank countless hours into the game already. Devs really took Bushnell's law to heart, as the game's easy to get into, but even the hardcore player's mettle will be tested, while being quite simple in its nature. I couldn't be more excited about pro tournaments and seeing the scoreboards of players from all over the world. Sometimes it just feels like you can't beat simplicity in its beautiful arcade game form. Okay, surveillance cameras off. Check this computer, eh? Messages. Save my life. From Gansuk. Can't even begin to try to pronounce that. Greeting. My name is GM, and I am Mongol Techno Shaman. I come from Ulaanbaatar, where I give help with people's cybernetics and spirits. I help many people corrupt with evil spirits that live in old cyber implants. Many commit suicide. I write to you because I have been kidnapped by Savoil agents who make experiments on me to learn my abilities and make money. I break into their network to send this one message before they notice me. I ask you to send money to attached account so my family can pay Saab Oil to free me. Please save my life. I will return the money and more when I am free. Thank you. It's probably legitimate. Read carefully from Amanda Nelson. A certain corpo entered the net one night when suddenly everything glitched and he encountered a red demon who said, "Tomorrow at midnight you will be dead." The corpo did not place any faith in the threat and slept soundly that night after leaving the net. The next day, he went to work and returned home and nothing bad happened. But the next morning, his daughter went to wake him up. His optical implants were burned out. His entire body was scorched and cut in half. If you break this email chain, the same thing will happen to you tomorrow at midnight. If you send this to only 3 people, the demon will hurt someone you love. If you send this to 15, the demon will follow you on the net for 5 days but do nothing to you. If you send this to all of your contacts, your biggest dream will come true. It's true. It happened to my uncle. I'm very sorry to send this on to you, but someone sent it to me first. It sounds silly, but forwarding this email will save your life. Hey, maybe forward it to this guy. Pay or your head will explode. Hey, Choom, today's your unlucky day. You're probably wondering who I am. I'm a voodoo boy. Probably heard of us. Remember last time you hit the net? Yeah? Me too. I hack your coprocessor, install a little surprise for you. Now you do what I say or your head goes boom. I think $1,000 is fair to pay to keep your head. If you pay, I uninstall my surprise. If not, I blow up your head. But blow up the head of the person you love most first. And if you tell NCPD, I blow your head twice. You have 2 days to pay. And I know you read this because I install spy cam in your optics. We read it together. This is not a negotiation, Choom, so do not reply. Just pay, and you will live. Dude, these are great. I love everything about this. Mega Medicine Lottery. Attention. Mega Medicine Lottery. Buy 2 tickets, get the 3rd for free. Heart, heart, heart. Thousands of prizes are still available. Drugs, reanimators, primary care appointments, surgery vouchers, blood screens, cyberpsychosis vaccines, Ripper Doc referrals, and our grand prize, a 1-year trauma team premium package. Hurry while supplies last. Your neighbors already have their tickets. Buy yours now. God, that is just terrible. Like, I remember hearing about that in the original Cyberpunk of like having a medicine lottery or whatever. Absolutely terrible. That like healthcare has essentially been relegated to you either have a shit ton of money or you win the lottery for it. I need your help. Dear Good Samaritan, I'm desperate for your help. My name is Lovisa Kolkanen. I recently lost my job as a custodian at Euro Business Machines because I was in a horrible accident last May. Now my implants are no longer compatible with my nervous system. I lost function in both legs, right eye, and my left hand. Surgery is too expensive for me. My daughter is very ill and my new baby is blind and deaf. It is my dream to show her the world, but I know I cannot afford treatment for both of us. I humbly ask you for a small donation to buy new Karoshi eyes so that my little angel can see her mother and sister for the first time. I will not forget your mercy and generosity. Lovisa Kakinen. There's so many of these. This is great. From Kenoshi Corp. Congratulations! Greetings, user! Due to your continued use of Kenoshi services, you were entered in a raffle and have been selected for 1 prize, Kenoshi ThermoSense 9873. Reply to this email in the next 10 minutes to claim your prize. Hurry now, or another lucky user will be seeing the world in thermovision instead of you, the Kenoshi team. Penis Nanogel Scam Alert. Warning! Scam Alert! Do not click on any emails with ads for a penis enlargement nanogel. This is a scam. Ordinary gels cannot stimulate new cell growth. The only tested and proven method for penis enhancement is still the Eresex hormone treatment. Our scientists at Eresex have developed a formula that will dramatically increase the length and girth of your penis in only 7 days. Join the thousands of other satisfied customers and order your kit today. I didn't believe it would work, but I was desperate. I only had a week to get my penis big, and I knew Mr. Stud wouldn't cut it. Fortunately, Arisex did the trick, and I've still got the nail marks on my back to prove it. Thanks, Arisex. Richard Towers, real customer, verified penis growth. Order now while supplies last. feeling alone tonight? Feeling alone and kinky? Women, men, agender, or fluid? We've got someone for you. And we're as naughty as we are sexy. You're just one easy order away from living out your dirtiest fantasy. Check out our Double Trouble Genitals, Animalia, Tails, Scales, and more. Neural libido stimulants. And that's just the start. What are you waiting for? Contact us now to take your pick of the hottest tail in town. Are you ready to get wild? Hey, I got a problem. If you read through the above, it's too late. Your neural processor has been affected. Send this message to 3 other people immediately or in 7 days or you'll go cyber psycho. Don't believe me? Good, because this isn't another chain mail. Send $5,000 to the attached account or I'll melt your skull sponge. You believe me now? If you do, you're a moron. Open your eyes, Choom. Look around. The world as we know it, one big lie. Corporations, the media, politicians, they're all pulling the wool over our eyes 24/7. They want us to believe we live the best lives in the best of all possible worlds. Want to know the truth? Night City's a fucking dystopian cesspool. The 20th century's worst fever dream nightmares have come true before our very eyes, yet we remain blind. We, born in a dystopia, are utterly incapable of imagining life any other way. The porno billboards accost us on all sides. The synth suit we eat slowly melts us from within, and we continue paying out the ass for privilege. You're sick. You want a cure? Listen to the good Doc Paradox. Implants for cheap, cheap, cheap. Huge savings on discounted secondhand cyberware. Don't miss out. Today's deals. Plastic Sin Skin, pink. Hand size, M 2nd gen, used 1 week only, near mint condition. Tech hair, green. Shoulder length, luminescent. 2nd gen, moderate use, occasional flickering, faint cigarette smoke smell. Alloy feet, chrome, unpainted. Men's size 8, 1st gen, light rust from lake water exposure. Price reduction due to lack of owner records. Synthetic calf muscle, red. No casing, mint condition. 2nd gen, retrofit capable with older joint models. Items go fast, so buy now. Continue following us for the latest and best deals. Dude, this is just somebody's junk email that they let spam come to, and I'm here for it. All right, the net's the same. Gosh, this is great. Surveillance system online. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Remote takeover. All right, what do we got here? Next device. Oh, somebody probably watched me do that. Okay. Another one outside the door. Another one in the back storeroom. Another one in the main air. Oh, that's me. Okay. Whoa, why is my head all goofy? Okay. All right.
What's this?
Oh. Got some scratches over there, eh? Okay. Let me check out some of this other stuff first, real quick. What else we got back here? D5 Sidewinder, baseball bat. Cycled shorts. Oh shit. Oh god. Nope. That's not gonna do it. Oh. Archived conversation, Zoika and Wansky. Change of plans. We're hauling goods to Caliente now, near the huge head sculpture. Place has got preem fridges. So we stashing parts with all that old food? Ew. Fuck, dude, no. Place has been shut for years. Never been there? Nope, never. Damn, all this talking made me hungry for some caliente. Jesus. Even if by some miracle you find some stashed food, don't eat it. Gonna die, chew 'em. Yeah, no, I ain't no gonk. Yo, there any gear or preservatives at Caliente, or do we need to grab our own? There's basic shit, so if you got some delicate parts, better grab your own equipment. It's more of an emergency storeroom in case everything else is filled, and it is. Okay, I see. You gonna come by today? Zoika? Nah, I think I got plans for today. Cool, no problem.
Antique. Junky variety.
Oh, I bet it does.
It works.
I'm at a payphone.
I'll have a double cheeseburger while you're at it.
Reed? Listen. Got no time to play games. Hello? Fossil's probably busted.
Or you flubbed the number.
What the fuck do we do now?
Who is this?
A friend.
Andrew Jackson, basketball court. Daytime. Noted.
Not exactly loquacious, our man of mystery.
Could just prefer text. Damn sure I do.
Dude, this is cool. I don't know why this is like we just activated a sleeper agent and it feels so badass. Like go to the basketball court. All right.
Get your fresh clip shards here.
300 meters away. All right.
They are the law. Follow the rules or face the consequences. That'll be all.
Sounds like some crazy shit going on up there. Oh, it's a drop. Ooh. Oh shit.
Large, large, registering. Inbound
Oh my god.
His description? Big-ass motherfucker with a full face. Armed, dangerous, unresponsive to intense contact. Fire without warning. Orders cut short.
Oh boy.
Let me see him inside.
Oh god, I have to sneeze. Oh, come out. Very much like to jack in. Yes, thank you. Alright, gains access to encrypted data. So we need 1C. 1C. BD 1C. So 1C. 1C. BD 1C. Carrying capacity increased. Oh, that was worth it.
Attention, this is Kurt Hansen. Scavenger representatives will be arriving Tuesday on business. Our Balkan-based friends might have a little jet lag.
All right.
So I want everyone in their homes by 6 sharp. Blinds down, no scrolling. Over and out.
Forget how to put my shit away. Although walking around here with a gun's not that weird. I think that's Kurt Hansen. God, this place is a mess. I mean, I realize basically the whole country's a mess, but like, jeez.
He's called those European BDs, culture or something.
I guess I maybe should. See what this is all about, huh? Three relic points. Spatial mapping, all leap attacks and mantis blades. Everything's mantis blade. +1 to projectile launch system. When an enemy is affected by a monowire upload, quick hack, blah, vulnerability, and extreme combat, you can now detect vulnerabilities in enemy armor and cyberware. Hitting vulnerabilities. Ooh, okay. Like that. Destroying an enemy's vulnerability grants frequency of new vulnerabilities appearing. That's cool. Health freak, glutton for war. Vehicle health. Pyromania, license to chrome. Bolt. Cool. Killer instinct. Get away. Road warrior. Focus. Ninjutsu. Juggler. Scorpion sting. Intelligence. Reduce the sequence length required to access points. Unlocks vehicle quick hacks. Exploit. Overclock. Q acceleration. Target lock transfer. Body. Man, there's just so much shit. Reflexes. Technical. I feel like I want technical ability to go up. Perk points. Increases movement speed, carrying capacity, armor, visibility to enemies. All right. Whatever. Cool. Nice to do that for a little bit. Let's get that squared up. All right, basketball court time. Solomon Reed. Oh, baby. Here we are. I'm excited to meet this guy. Now, I kind of wish that they didn't give you a waypoint here and that you kind of had to like look around and figure out who Solomon Reed was. Like, I don't like that they well, I guess maybe they didn't mark him. That's Johnny.
Meaning, if he did.
Where were you when it crashed?
On the net. Traffic blew up like crazy. Almost made my ass fat for it.
What's the word? Was it really
Alright.
the MUSA?
I don't know. It was chaos on
Best seats in the house.
As crazy as it is out here.
Gonna be a game to remember.
Johnny Silverhand. Basketball fan? That's new.
You know what I mean.
Everybody okay?
Another game started. One where your head's the fucking ball.
Said we could use another window.
Felt the same thing. Something nasty's brewing.
Fucking storm's what's brewing. Don't let the sunshine fool you. You're up against seasoned players, whereas you just stumbled onto the court. These are trained sociopaths. Pretend to be your friends while they fucking ain't. So go out and play. Just don't get played.
He's looking out for us. Like, in his own way, this is Johnny's way of expressing some level of concern. And it's good advice. I think if I was going to modify the way that Johnny gives this advice, it might be for him to front it a bit by saying, I'm concerned. Like, I realize that it might be implied in what he's saying, but there is something important about speaking directly to your experience if you're him. Like, I'm concerned about this. I know that you're capable, and also we are in over our heads if for no other reason than we've never done this before. So, how are you doing with this? Let's be mindful of our development. Like, it's really important to do that. There's a tendency sometimes for people to go too far on either end of the spectrum in terms of understanding their capacity for or ability to do something that's relatively new to them. Either they expect that they'll be absolutely terrible at it and really will give themselves no chance to actually develop, or they will overestimate their capabilities and put themselves in trouble because they're not looking at the reality of the situation. And it's so deeply important when we're talking about, in this case, a skill or an understanding of a world that we haven't occupied, to be aware of the reality of the situation as best we can, to realize that we have potential to learn, which requires acknowledging that there are things to learn, and also giving ourselves credit for some of the skills that we do have. We have gotten this far. We do possess some skills that allow Rosalind Myers to have some sense of comfort in our ability to engage with Solomon Reed. And also, we do not want to overestimate ourselves and get in over our head, given the fact that there are people in this space, psychologically, physically, and both, that are far more sophisticated than we are in operating in this context. It can be difficult to acknowledge the reality of the situation there, but if you ever find yourself going into one of the two extremes, you got to reel yourself back in, because we have something to offer, and there are ways in which we're in over our head. Be aware, and then be as present as possible and respond to the moment in front of you. That's how we're going to get better at this. But we're going to suck at this at the start.
Just come out and say it. You don't trust Myers.
No, her type is all.
Politicians?
Worse, armed forces. Saying no to high-ranking cunts like putting your mouth over the barrel of your gun. Get shitty fast if you try to run. Take it from a deserter.
Never told me about that.
Nothing to be proud of. Tore out that chapter. Crumpled it, swallowed it. Our sitch hairballed it back up. One thing I did learn, caked in blood, mud.
What was that?
After every carrot comes the stick. Allow me to illustrate. Every grunt gets a rifle, flak jacket, and a bunch of promises. Comes a time you're out of ammo, Kevlar's tattered cardboard. And what's left of the promises?
Fuck all, I'm guessing.
Exactly. And that's when they reach for the stick they call values. Getting shelled in your dugout, chooms are taking refreshing phosphorus showers, and some officers ranting about loyalty and duty. The moment you stop shitting carrots and they wave the value stick, fucking run, rabbit. Run.
Damn. He's not wrong. This actually does, in a lot of ways, parallel, at least in the United States, the experience that a lot of people in the armed forces have. You are a pawn, for the lack of a better word, that is used within a greater system in order to move an agenda that, if you enlisted in, you believe in, which is admirable. I respect people who are in the armed forces as much as anybody else. And I also am aware of some of the realities that veterans deal with, both when they're in and when they're out of the armed forces, which is essentially that it's a system that will never care for you as much as you care for it, because you simply can't treat all of the individuals within the armed forces as the thing that people like to believe we treat them as. And a lot of military training is designed to counteract basic human sensibility, in the sense that you are asked to push past your own bodily limits, both physically and mentally. You are put in positions to make decisions that generally would not come naturally to a human to make. You have to deprogram essentially what humans have learned for the first 18 years of their lives and get them reprogrammed in a way that allows them to operate in the way that the system at large needs them to operate in order to perpetuate whatever agenda it is that it's trying to keep going. And when Johnny says that you might start experiencing some dissonance with that system the more into it you get, and then they're going to start throwing things at you like values. And if that doesn't feel right, then you should figure out a way to get out. He's not wrong in that sense. And his experience, I think, aligns with many people who have been in the military before, particularly when they get out and are essentially cast aside, whether you're honorably discharged or not. Like, the level of care that you receive post being in is not commensurate with what everybody likes to believe that it is and should be. And it is often the case, whether it's military or any other kind of system, that if it is completely reliant upon some level of drilling shared value into you in a way that maybe runs counter to your own sensibilities, that's a scary thing, because that's a system that's trying to get you into a space where you're perpetuating its values, maybe at your own expense, which means that you have in some ways been objectified by that system, which doesn't feel good as humans. Is sometimes necessary, depending on who you ask, but not great. So that's very, complicated stuff and whatever. But at the end of the day, one of the things that I really respect here about what Johnny's saying is just that he's sharing his experience, that this was something that he went through and is using it to try to assist with a level of ignorance that V, by definition, has to have by virtue of the fact that he never served. So he's really looking out for us here, and I appreciate that. And he's also speaking to a larger problem that many, many people experience and don't generally know how to talk about or don't know where to talk about it, which is really sad. So, veterans, I see you. For whatever that's worth.
Sounds like you got some shit to work through. Gotta face your demons sometimes, Johnny.
Didn't actually have a problem with them. Till now.
Yeah. I actually don't agree with V here. Johnny sounds like somebody who has wrestled with his demons, or at the very least has conceptualized them in a way that feels close to his reality and makes sense to him. I mean, Johnny's mere articulation of what it is that he went through and the way that he's processed it after suggests that he has wrestled with those demons. Sometimes when people say things like, you need to work through that, what they're really saying is, it seems like you're uncomfortable or that you aren't hunky-dory with the thing that you're expressing, and it would make me more comfortable if you weren't upset about it. Reality is, sometimes dealing with demons means acknowledging they're there. Sometimes it means acknowledging that Johnny's experience in the armed forces wasn't what he thought it was going to be. And that violation of his expectations rings true whether he likes it or not. Sometimes wrestling with demons means understanding the way in which they sit at the table with you, not necessarily trying to erase them or pacify them or make other people around you feel better because you just don't ever bring it up or you don't talk about it in a meaningful way. That's V's discomfort around what Johnny's talking about. Not necessarily Johnny's. It's okay for him to be affected by that. I might even make an argument that if he's completely numb to it, that's no better than being absolutely debilitated by it. So naming these things and talking about difficult things is really important. It's not something that we have to go throw back in the bag. And that's why there's so much value in a space like therapy, because it's a space where you can bring these things out, and hopefully, in most cases, your therapist is going to hear that and give you that space and not just immediately say, whoa, shit, you really got to work through this stuff. Working through it sometimes means just acknowledging it. It doesn't mean necessarily that you have to get to a place where it no longer affects you.
Politicians, military runners, intelligence operatives, Colonel Hanson for dessert. All the rotten fish in one fucking barrel, this Dogtown.
Don't turn around. Eyes on the court. Hands, what you holding? Nope, nuh-uh. Don't do that. Just don't. So then. I see you holding something.
Got this token. Mean anything to you?
But I need to make sure.
Keeps his cards close, this one.
Who sent you?
Rosalind.
I don't know any Rosalind. Neither do you.
Got a pro spy here.
She's safe.
Hard to say. The longer we sit here.
That's it. Dribble around him.
You followed? Did you even bother to check?
Dunno. Wasn't looking for a tail.
Well, you get 1 point for being candid. Attaboy. Black Thornton Merrimack, Elm Street. 3 minutes. Front seat.
We better leave separately. Don't want anyone to get suspicious. You first.
Don't want to be caught holding hands?
Reed.
Slippery motherfucker.
Oh, that was cool. That was so cool. I don't know why I think this is so cool, but I think this is so cool. I think maybe the reason I'm so enthralled by this is because being like a spy in this case means having a prime time understanding of the human psyche. And not just human psyche, but human behavioral tendencies. Like, you have to be all in terms of your understanding of how things are perceived, what types of things might tip people off, like language, environment, cues. I mean, the whole shebang. And then you have to take that and you have to control it as best you can. Like, it's just so cool. Like, he shows up and he's like in complete control of that situation. Complete control. Because he caught me off guard. He's behind me. I can't see him. I can't identify him. He's asking for very specific information while holding the power that he has. He has some sense of how I may react to it and uses my reactions as a way to try to gauge what it is that may be going on for me relative to the situation. Like, it's incredible. Like, it's really just awesome. Like, he knows that my initial reaction is going to be to want to turn around and look at him. Because from a survival standpoint, we need visual confirmation. And so not only does it keep him safe to not have me look at him, it also keeps me off balance because I'm not able to engage the thing that my autopilot nervous response wants me to do, which is get visual confirmation of a threat. It's awesome. It's just so cool. The more I'm like talking my way through this, the more I'm realizing just how dripping with amazingness these types of interactions are. He has me completely subordinate to him in that moment. And This is where that conversation about V's preparedness for this type of thing comes into play. Because if V is not a... This is a really important point. If V does not engage with the reality that he is not prepared for this type of thing, he will do everything wrong there. If V is aware that he is terrible at this and that he's not ready for this type of thing, it provides that little space for mindfulness about responding to the situation differently. Because if he goes, no, I got this, this is fine, whatever his automatic response is, he's going to, in some passive way, believe is the right thing to do. And that might be forcibly turning and looking at Solomon Reed, which would probably end in me being shot and killed immediately. If V sits there and goes, shit, I'm in a situation that I don't fully understand, how am I going to respond to this? I'm going to comply because I'm thinking my way through this. He told me not to look at him. That probably helps me survive if I don't. I mean, you saw me do it. I even still tried to turn my camera to look at him, even though he told me not to do that, right? Because I'm trying to gain power there and I don't have it. If I can understand that I've lost power there and that I am absolutely able to be influenced by whatever it is that he brings, I need that little bit of space for mindfulness, which is where I made the decision to be honest with him when I said, I actually don't know if I have a tail on me. Because if I autopilot that and say, I got this, then I may lie to him and say, nah. And if he was watching me, which he very well probably was, he may know whether I do or not. And then I've lost points with him. So this is why it's so important to understand where you are developmentally in any kind of environment or situation, particularly one that's got some adversity with it, because it gives you that little bit of space to be mindful in your response to it. Acknowledging that you don't necessarily know what to do is the first step to being mindful about making the decision that feels best with the variables you have at hand.
I think we really hit it off.
Sure. Bet he's got candy in that van. Ready to find out?
I am not going to ask this guy about Solomon. I don't want to draw any attention to that, because there's a good chance Solomon may be watching me right now.
With the right guns installed, man, a three-point dunk ain't even hard. Game needs some damn rule changes.
So we're gonna play it cool. That was so good. So good. I love it. I love it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching these videos. I'm so glad that you take time out of your day to watch my stuff. It's very cool of you to do. All right, here we go.
Blackthorn.
Passenger seat. Am I being tailed? You tailing me, bud? This guy is a badass.
Before we go, apologies for the precautions. I only ever risk so much. Sometimes it's just safer to shove the barrel of a Malorian between a Troon's ribs, even if he is on your side. It's nothing personal. No hard feelings, I hope.
No. No hard feelings. It's all good. Had to make sure I'd have done the same.
Is that so? You're not in the biz, V. Our biz.
What gave me away?
You got into a stranger's car. You're lucky I am who I claim to be. I combed FIA data for info about you. Interesting profile. Freelance merc. You were born in NC, Haywood. To make things more interesting, FIA agent. You received your commission last night. One thing eludes me. What drove you to get entangled in this mess?
Oh, man. Oh, man, I don't even know how to articulate myself right now. As I'm going to sound... I know how this is going to sound, but I have no other way of really articulating this. It is rare for me to be intimidated in an interpersonal context. Like, I don't really get shaken up by these types of things. Like, I usually feel like I'm pretty well in control of just about any exchange that I have. And I am on my heels with him. And I respect the shit out of it. Like, seriously. Like, for me, it's one of these things where simultaneously I am like, his presence is so well trained. This isn't just how this dude is. This dude was trained to be this way. Okay? His presence is so well trained that he's cool. He appears and is in full control. He controls the conversation. He unbalances the power dynamic by pointing out ways in which his observations are closer to reality than my own. He already has a bunch of information about me. And so he's here. And he is like, there is no piece of him that appears to be out of control. You can feel sort of like how impenetrable he is. And so as a result, when anybody who's not ready for this type of interaction is in his presence, which is pretty much all of us, because none of us have been through the type of training that would prepare you for being in the presence of somebody like him. You get caught in your insecurities, and you get caught in your projections. So I sit in this passenger seat when normally I feel fully in control of most interpersonal conversations. And now all of a sudden, I am reacting to him. I am having to engage with my own lack of preparedness for this. And that's unsettling. So I am now, because I'm reacting, he's even more in control. And it's a positive feedback loop. Now, the tricky thing is, you don't necessarily want to just automatically reassert yourself. Like, I don't necessarily want to try to counter alpha him here, because the reality of this entire situation is that he is in control. That he does know more than me. That he is far and away more developmentally competent in this situation. No amount of me alphaing back at him is going to change that. Which means that I, again, like we talked about 20 minutes ago, I have to engage with the reality of this situation, which is that I am with somebody who is in control, possibly dangerous to me, but also, because of that, obviously trusts me in some way because he didn't kill me. And he is talking with me, and he is sharing what he does know about me. It's just such a cool moment. For me, this is like maybe one of the most unique interpersonal moments in a video game I've ever had. So I just really want to like talk through my experience of it, because it's wild sitting here in this passenger seat as he gets in and he engages with it. Like, look at his body language. He's super chill in a moment where I am like fully amplified as V, because I don't know what I'm getting into. I'm new here. And he's just like, yeah, it's cool. Just speaks to how well done this is too, from like a game development standpoint. It's just fantastic. Also, wasn't expecting Idris to be the guy who got in the car. That's just a cool little cherry on top. So, Julia, I just want to acknowledge really quick, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you bringing people over here. You came in here at a really interesting time. We're currently playing the Cyberpunk DLC called Phantom Liberty. Please do not spoil or backseat. This is fully blind for me, which is why I get to have these cool reactions here. So, please, please, please sit on your hands and do not give me information I don't already have. I am a therapist. I use video games to illustrate psychological concepts and destigmatize mental health, and I use my therapist brain to analyze things and talk about it. And so if that sounds cool to you and you like a little bit of what I was just talking about, I encourage you to follow and stick around. Man. And if you're with me, go follow Julia. If you don't follow Julia, please go do that. So... my thought process here as we go back into this is I am going to roll with what happens here. Like, I'm not going to overly play it cool. I'm not going to try to compensate for my anxiety and my lack of control here. I'm going to let this happen. I'm going to respond to him. I'm going to try to get as comfortable with his presence as he is with mine. The President of the United States vouched for him, so I have no reason to believe that he is... I mean, who knows, but if 7 years running and she vouched for him, at the very least, I know that he's... the way he's acted, he's certainly Solomon Reed. Like, he's not some Joe Schmo acting like a spy. So I trust this moment, and I'm going to allow that to dictate how I respond to him. I love that he called me out for getting in a stranger's car. It's great. Just pointing out the noviceness of it. It's a great power move too. Like his whole MO here is to establish control. He knows he has it. But my guess is that he generally works with people who believe they have it. And so if I show him that I understand that I don't have it, that's probably going to diffuse the situation and get us into some rapport building faster than if I try to act like I'm in control. I'm not, no matter how badly I might want to be. I'm not in control right now. I'm in control of how I respond to him, but that's about it. What drove you to get entangled in this mess? Kind of wondering that myself.
Earth to V?
Guess I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I feel you. I get tasked with correcting someone else's mistakes. I do my own rapping. Right. It's time we paid our friend in distress a visit. Address, please.
Abandoned building on Crest Street, 8th floor.
You left her alone in Dogtown?
Was I supposed to drag her along while cruising around?
Actually,
Look, place seemed plenty safe to me.
safe. A derelict building in Dogtown. Just listen to how that sounds. Hold up. I need to take this. Why you calling me on my day off? Last I heard, you're the manager. Ask Bob. He owes me a favor anyway. Yeah, well, tough nuts. You'd have to manage without me. Boss man, I work the door at a club. Selection, you know, bouncing.
Huh? That your Lilo gig? A bouncer?
It pays the bills and nets me a little disposable. Sleeper agents aren't entitled to government pay. Not even under the table.
My hypothesis about that would be that they solely want people of principle, of integrity, and of shared value. They want the reason he acts as a sleeper agent to be because he believes in what they believe in, not because he's compensated handsomely. Because that means he could be bought by the enemy. If he's in it for the money, there's always more money somewhere else. If he's in it because at the depths of his core, he believes in what he's doing, whether that's organically driven or somehow manipulated, he is far more likely to stick through the job and to do the job and to not be influenced by anything, because at the end of the day, he will engage with what his purpose is in his role. And that's something that even torture, to some extent, isn't going to shake as easily. He's not in it for the money. He has to work as a bouncer to pay the bills. But he's been doing this for 7 years. And I would love to know why. I would love to know what it is he connects with. What's got him involved in working for the man in the way that he is for this long as a sleeper agent. A lot of information in that little bit there. And it's what you would want if you're the United States trying to activate a sleeper cell when diplomacy fails.
This is not how I imagine spending my day off.
Saving the president? Great action BD shit right there, am I right?
Yeah, sure, I guess so. Does Myers still smoke?
Snitches get stitches, man.
So that'll be a yes. Not good. When things start to spiral out of control, she's likely to light up. It's high time we help her out.
I mean, it's understandable that he would know that. As a therapist, the core thing that I do, not every therapist, me, DrMick, the core thing that I do and believe in, and I tell this to every client when they first start working with me, is I look for patterns. Because patterns give the most information of anything. Gives me more information than your word. Gives me more information than anything. Because generally humans engage in patterns as a system of comfort, as an autopilot, and it gives you a window into the general orientation people have to their emotions and to the environment at large. And so as a person who has to observe the humans around him, particularly the people that he is subordinate to, like Rosalind Myers, paying attention to when she starts smoking and how that connects to her emotional experience and the context in which she's doing it is very useful info, because it means that if she started smoking again, perhaps she feels out of control, or she's legitimately worried about something. disruptions in patterns are also useful information. So if this is the type of thing where Rosalind would normally smoke and she's not, it may mean that she feels more of a sense of control than she otherwise would, which could give him information into potentially some sort of ulterior agenda that he may not be aware of. Like, there's any number of things there that you can get information from, both by seeing people's adherence to patterns and disruptions of them. And so I like this little exchange that we just had here with him because, again, it shows me that he's probably pretty good at his job in terms of being a person that has to observe the humans around him. It's good stuff. Such good stuff. I'm so happy right now. Like, just so happy right now. Thank you for being here. We're gonna ride with him. Pretty nice car.
Let's go. So this is the place. 8th floor.
Yeah.
Lead the way.
I will say he's pretty conspicuous in that gear, which surprises me. What build are you playing? I have no idea. I just pick what sounds good. I'm playing the build that allows me to analyze things as much as possible.
Honestly, this is not inspiring confidence.
Relax, she ain't alone. Made some new tunes, locals. Introductions were a little dicey, but she turned on the charm. Probably has her Dogtown campaign staff by now.
This keeps getting worse and worse.
There is probably one very significant drawback to Solomon's general experience as a person, both in his role and probably in his personal life. Which is that it seems to me, based on the limited experience we have with him, that he's pretty deficit-based in how he looks at things. That there's not a lot of trust in the people around him. It's understandable because he's in a job of having to deal with lying, cheating, stealing, lack of trust up the wazoo. But I can imagine that that probably bleeds into his general worldview. It's like a pair of sunglasses that he has to put on, and then he just starts seeing the world in the augmented color that the sunglasses filter it through. Where he doesn't trust that Rosalind can hold her own. He doesn't trust that this environment is safe for her. He doesn't trust the people that are around him, or that are around her. Doesn't necessarily trust me and my capabilities as a person that was appointed to do this job. So I could imagine that to some extent his existence is quite lonely because he may have a degree of cynicism that disconnects him from the people around him. I don't know how true that is. It's just an emerging hypothesis as we gain more information about him. Like, in terms of patterns, he has consistently been looking at how things could be bad and doesn't seem to trust things at face value, which makes sense given his role in context, but I could see that causing problems for him in his personal life. Lets me lead.
If anyone had tried to extract her forcibly, this whole level would be in shambles. No way she would have gone quietly. Take point.
Open up. It's me.
Yeah, coming.
Don't move a
Fuck's
muscle.
sake. Again?
Where is she?
That's enough, gentlemen. Put your tools away, gents. Compare length and girth when I'm not around.
You the boss?
Are you sure?
Look around. Positive.
You remembered my number.
Some numbers you never forget.
Level with me, Rosalind. You never intended to call that line.
Well, I found myself in Night City with a bounty on my head. So it seemed the right moment to reach out, have a tete-a-tete, reset an old friendship.
She loves to call professional relationships friendships, doesn't she? Real bummer when you're the president. You start assuming that your sleeper agents and your net runners are friends. Probably just because of proximity to you and because they do things for you. Makes me sad for her. Like, I don't really have any depth of analysis there. Just this is the second time that she's called somebody who works for her and is at her beck and call a friend.
I'd offer to sit down and chat over coffee, but the clock's ticking. I need to arrange a passage for you to Washington.
No, Reed. We need to talk first. All three of us. Come on, we should talk in private.
The president, a merc, and a special agent walk into the Oval Office. Question is, where do I fit into this joke?
You're with me, bud.
You've seen the news.
Uh-huh. Hansen's spin work never fails to amuse.
He's not acting purely on his own initiative. Someone from our camp's propping him up.
I'm not involving myself here.
So, an inside job. It's plausible. I see why you reached out.
This shit runs deeper, Reed. I wasn't alone on that flight. Songbird was on board too.
So me. I had a bad feeling about this. But now I see why. Where is she now?
V was the last person to talk to her.
Most likely scenario. Got caught in some ice in the combat bot when she hacked it. One little mishack. Happens even to the best. But no way to know for sure.
Unfortunately, we need hard evidence, not speculation. Reed, I needn't remind you what this means for the NUS's national security. Besides, she's your prodigy, Saul. You taught her all your tricks. Hell, even recruited her. She and V have a unique bond. It's a lead. Our only one for now. You two have to find her. Together.
I already died for the cause once. Not enough?
What do you mean, already died?
What has Myers told you about me?
Said you led an intelligence cell here. Went into hibernation at war's end.
So she omitted the fact that Arasaka tried to smoke me. And that I ended up in intensive care with 3 bullet holes. That 6 months had passed before I could take a shit on my own.
Huh. Might have slipped her mind.
Convenient. Well, now you know.
Okay. This is why I wanted to just sit back and let them talk. Because I want information. And I'm going to get way more information watching the two of them interact than I am interacting with them directly. Yeah, it's a little icy. Seems to me that we've now met two people that Rosalind has referred to as a friend, but these two people seem to have some real salt on the way in which Rosalind acts and withholds information at times that is convenient for her to do so, which she has the ability to do given the power that she has. So Rosalind progressively appears to be quite slippery in terms of the way in which she commands people and gets them to do things. Something still doesn't feel right to me in all of this. I mean, it's a complex situation. There's a ton of shit moving at once. But something feels off. There's a resentment / hostility expressed by Songbird toward Rosalind, despite the fact that she was in that plane with Rosalind and ostensibly works for her. There is a degree of frustration and animosity that Reed seems to have toward Rosalind, despite the fact that he's been a sleeper agent for years and years and took 3 bullets on her behalf. My choice here is about which one of them to engage. So I'm trying to think about which person I engage that gives me the most information about the situation as a person who's trying to observe his way through it rather than be involved. My involvement overcomplicates it. It would be the tendency for a lot of people in a situation like this, and I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody else here, but the tendency that a lot of people would have being the third party here would be to inject into it out of some sense of wanting to equalize the hierarchy or show that they matter and that they're supposed to be here, essentially trying to fill a role and what they've projected that role to be rather than maybe what it is. And so if you sit back and you observe, I think I get some of Reed's buy-in because I think he's going to see that and appreciate the fact that I'm just taking information in rather than engaging with it immediately. And Rosalind may see it as me knowing my place in all of this and sort of see it as me believing that I am lower on the hierarchy, if that makes sense. So it's sort of, I get buy-in from them, at least the percentages are in my favor that I get buy-in from them by shutting the hell up rather than stepping into something that I don't fully understand and literally just got here. Oh, this is so good. It's just so hard for me to determine who I want to go with here. Because Songbird, I also believe, may be compromised. Like, I don't know that I can trust Songbird either. Of all the people here, I don't really know who I can trust the best. My guess is probably Solomon, given the fact that he theoretically is here on principle and doesn't really stand to gain anything other than, like, whatever satiation of that principle is. Rosalind's here because she has some kind of interest in power and control and was voted and has, I mean, she's the president, so she's automatically compromised, if nothing else, ideologically. And Songbird, I know very little about. All I know is that Songbird is supposed to be this amazing netrunner who got caught up in a tank that ended up trying to destroy me, and I haven't heard anything from her since, other than prior to that, hearing that she had some level of disdain for the person that she's working for and activated me in the presence of. So I don't want to show my hand in terms of who I align with here because it feels like in some ways we have 3 totally different agendas working at this. And maybe that's what feels the weirdest for me in all of this is I don't feel like we have a unified direction. I don't have a sense that Songbird, Reed, and Rosalind are all on the same page, going in the same direction, and I'm a key piece of that. I have this total sense that like Songbird's got some kind of agenda, and Myers has some kind of agenda, and Reed is trying to figure out what his role in that agenda is going to be, and so am I. And that doesn't feel particularly good for me, especially given that Myers is the one controlling the majority of the flow of information. I'm going to engage her.
Let me get this straight. You abandoned Reed and NC, leave him for dead, and now expecting to jump right back into shit? Newsflash, Madam President. Got a hell of a debt to pay.
You're right. I'm sorry, Reed, for those 7 years. Is that enough to get us a fresh start?
I'm here. I'll help. But I'm doing it for Somi and my country. Call me naive if you like.
Some may call that naive, others may call that principled, but that's exactly what I was talking about. He has deeper core values that draw him to this stuff. And that's precisely, I'm sure, why she called him.
And UV, whatever bond you two have fails to explain why you're here in the first place. I don't know how much they're paying, but you better ask yourself, is it worth it?
Some things are more important than Eddie's, Reed.
That we agree on.
We all got our reasons. Mine's even got a name. The Relic. If I don't find Somi, I'm literally a dead man.
Seems we're all on the same page now, V.
Did you see his facial expression there? If you're on YouTube, go back and look at that. That's excellent from like an animation standpoint. We got him. We got him. He made the eyebrow raise that essentially was him connecting wires. I mean, he's saying it verbally that we're all on the same page, but the verbal is not as important as the nonverbal there. When he was in the car and told us that he works as a bouncer for money, I told all of you that that means he's in this because of principle. And he needed to hear from me that I have reason to be here that's personal. Because on the most human level, that goes deeper down than basically anything else. He understands that. And his eyebrow raise there tells me that that was the right call. That was how we get his buy-in. Is he's going to work well with a person who he knows at their core is engaged for a reason that is unshakable. And mine is my survival. I'm not saying that we have the upper hand on him. I'm not even necessarily trying to get the upper hand on him, but we got a shitload of buy-in and trust by saying that. Now, if I was a complete asshole, I could have used that to my own advantage and leveraged that type of thing to try to continuously get him in on whatever vulnerability is in there, because I suspect there's a vulnerability in there. And we could use that against him at some point. And maybe we'll have to, depending on how he acts here. But that look down with the eyebrow raise was the computation prior to the verbal confirmation. And that's the thing that signals to me that we're in.
Which means we can help each other too.
Now, I'm going to play this.
We don't have all day.
Oh, okay. Shaking his hand is a gesture of goodwill. But it also shows that I have a degree in trust in him. I don't know that I fully trust him yet. It also reestablishes, to an extent, that he has the upper hand. No pun intended. If I say, yeah, we'll see, I think that's more of an acknowledgement of the reality of the situation, which is I still don't know whether I can trust you guys, and I still don't know if you're looking out for me, and I'm aware of that. And so while this is nice and we're getting along well, I'm not fully there yet, which is a bit of a power move. The least invested always has the most power. That's true for relationships. It's true for systems. The closer you are towards apathy, the more power you have. So I can establish a little bit of power organically here by not shaking his hand and expressing a little bit of doubt here, which is also tethered to reality, so is not just me bluffing.
Gotta wait and see, won't we?
If we want to find Somi, we gotta dig deep. I mean, actual reconnaissance. No stone unturned. We need contacts, informers not afraid to sing, who might see something in it for themselves. You'll need to earn their trust.
Big ask in Dogtown. Won't be easy.
I need to arrange a safe passage to Washington for Myers. Expect my call soon, V.
Thanks. For everything.
Stay safe. And don't let the bastards get you.
Same to you, V. May we meet again in more favorable circumstances.
All right, I need to make some calls. It's me. I need a cab. 2 people. Long ride. No, no papers. Not this time. Yeah, Dogtown. Waterfront. Usual spot. Thanks. Done. We should leave. Best if we weren't together. V, you'll go 5 minutes after we do.
Good luck, V.
Maybe put that hat back on, Rosalind. Contact Dr. Bear. Important conference RESFO. Throw under the bus. Media. Night City. Security Department. Sack Luis. Reprimand Lloyd and Hannah. Warrant Agency. Reinstall SR. No questions asked. Handle the funeral. Civil burial. No cameras. Compensate the families. Call mom. Anonymous payment for J and T. $1 million. Is that her looking up the car? Said I had 3 pairs of pants tonight.
All good, Jacob?
Doggone fairy tale, V. This Rosalind chick, piece of work if I ever seen one. Thinking we might have had a moment. Shame she ain't finna stay longer.
You'll have to excuse my friend. He's sometimes excitable.
Right. You ought to teach him about the value of initial impressions. At least his kind goes guns blazing. I mean, screw those stab you in the Baxters.
So what's the future hold in store for J&T?
2 options. We die in Dogtown, or we hit the road, scoot far, far out of here. I guess it comes down to our dear Madame Prez. Will she keep her word?
Gonna boost soon. Keep an eye on Jay, will you?
One shitty nanny I'd make. Hey, keep it real, V.
Gotta evac soon. Watch yourself out
Nah,
there,
the
Jacob.
world better watch out for Jacob.
Yeah, just remember to knock before you enter any shady-looking digs.
See, if I came knocking last night, I'd have missed the chance to meet my babe Rosalind. And you, I suppose. That's life for you, V. There's a lesson in all this, don't you think?
What do you think it is? Tell me. Oh, Rosalind left her gun. Hell yes. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, baby. Gimme, gimme. Yes. Oh, it's just on Auto Trader. It's great. All right. Oh, baby. Well, what will part 5 have in store for us? Whatever it is going to be awesome. Thank you, my friends, for taking the time to watch this episode. I hope you enjoyed my reactions and thoughts and all that fun stuff, as well as the story at large. I am loving the direction that this is going, and I can't wait for more. So it means so much to me that you take time out of your day to watch these videos, whether it's live here with me on Twitch or whether it's on YouTube. I appreciate it immensely. The fact that you've made it to the end of this video is awesome. Please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, check the links in the description. Come hang out with us sometime live. I'd love to have you. Your presence is awesome. I appreciate you. If you're binging, I'll see you in the next episode. If you're waiting for the next one to come out, I'll get it out as soon as I can. You matter. You're awesome. See you in the next one.